Real-world examples of off-label promotion. In this lesson, we're going to go over how bad off-label promotion can be for a pharmaceutical company if they do not stick to the label that was approved based upon what they submitted to the FDA, the amount of money it can cost the company, and also criminal and civil liabilities. Just want to review what we discussed in the previous lessons regarding products. Pharma companies manufacture and sell products. Pharma products are also referred to as brands and/or drugs. The purpose of a pharma product or drug is to treat a specific condition, ailment, or disease, and these products and drugs can come in a variety of forms such as vials, pills, packs, units, and capsules. Product indications. Indications in pharma refers to the use of a drug to treat a specific condition, ailment, or disease. The Food and Drug Administration, FDA, approves pharma products for specific indications and assigns each product a structured product label, SPL, and National Drug Code, NDC. The SPL is written in a language that details product usage, side effects, dosage, ingredients, and packaging, and the NDC is a distinct ID number assigned by the FDA to identify a product. It's a 9 to 10 digit code. The same pharma product can be approved for multiple indications. As discussed previously in the product lesson, product designations, we have mass market versus specialty products. Mass market products are intended for a large audience of patients that suffer from common medical conditions such as hypertension, high cholesterol, type 2 diabetes. Specialty products address rare or severe medical conditions in patients such as cancer, hemophilia. The classification of mass market versus specialty drugs can vary between pharma companies, and many pharma companies now try to classify more of their products in the specialty market and take more time in educating the healthcare providers about the brand benefits. Product promotion. The FDA approves products for specific indications as defined in the structured product label. An on-label promotion is promoting products based on FDA-approved indications. An off-label promotion is promoting products for treatment or conditions, ailments, or diseases the FDA has not yet approved. Off-label promotions are strictly prohibited. Off-label promotions can also have legal ramifications with penalties that can be severe. Healthcare providers, HCPs, can write prescriptions to patients that are off-label. Drug package labels and black box warnings. The labels on the packaging for the medication are not the full structured product label, SPL. This packaging detail is a small part of the larger SPL, and we'll look at an SPL shortly so you can see how much information is actually in there. Structured product label details, SPL. The FDA has resources to assist pharma companies so they can properly create and submit the structured product label. The SPL is a long and detailed document, and if you go to the FDA.gov website, there's an area called Structured Product Labeling Resources that details all the steps and the process to properly create and submit the label to the FDA. How to find a structured product label for any particular drug. You can go onto any search engine, type in the name of the drug and the word label, and it will come up for you. In this example below, I found two labels for the Abbott Labs drug Depakote, one submitted in 2011 and one submitted in 2018. So I wanted to give an example of what a structured product label looks like. This specific label we're looking at right now is for the case study we're going to go over. It's an FDA-approved label. Looks like it was approved up here October 7, 2011. It's 57 pages long, not just the little label on the actual packaging itself, but 57 pages long. It looks like the initial approval for Depakote was in 1983, and you can see right here the indications and usage that it was approved for those three specific conditions. And if you go down, it goes into more detail about what its indication is. So it looks like it's approved for mania, epilepsy, and migraine headache. So those were its three approvals, indications, and usage. And there's a lot more information in the label, but for the case study, because this drug was promoted off-label by Abbott Labs, they pled guilty, and I want to go over what the issues were within that specific guilty plea and what happened, but just wanted to first show what an SPL looks like. Pharmaceutical fines and settlements. When pharma companies promote off-label, there are serious consequences. Companies can face criminal and civil penalties. What I did is I put together a web page just detailing some of the top fines over the last 10, 11 years. The URL for it's right there. It'll also be in the bottom in the notes of this lesson. Basically, this page is going to detail fines from the years 2010 through 2021, only looking at fines of $200 million or more. Yes, $200 million or more for these fines. The categories are off-label promotion, false claims, fraud, price fixing, and bribery. There's a whole bunch of HR violations as well, but they are not included in this list because this lesson is about off-label promotion. Anybody can do this research. Just go to the Department of Justice website and you can search the Office of Public Affairs Archive, and it details all of these specific cases. Fines have gotten very severe over the last 2 decades, wiping out nearly all revenue a brand generates. If you promote on-label and make $10 and you promote off-label and make $1, you will lose nearly all $11 if you get caught for off-label promotion. It's just the way it is now. The government has really cracked down on this, and I want to go over the specific case listed here as the Abbott Labs case from 2012, which was a $1.5 billion case. So here's the pharma fines page we previously discussed. Again, we're dealing with the period from 2010 to 2021. Penalties that exceed $200 million. Specific categories that we talked about as well. And we're going to exclude HR violations because this lesson is dealing with off-label promotion and false claims. You can sort by the company, the year, the offense, and the fine. These top fines up here from Purdue Pharma and Johnson & Johnson, they're all surrounding the ongoing OxyContin cases that are out there. So if you click on this link, it'll take you to a newspaper article on the specific case that's still pending. The other ones are linking to a Department of Justice settlement page. So if I were to click on this individual link, it lists a Office of Public Affairs settlement page. It talks about what the company pled guilty to and how much they had to pay. Also, if there's any other conditions put upon the company for what they did. That's what we're talking about with the individual fines. There's 27 fines that exceeded $200 million in the last 11 years. The one I want to focus on specifically is this Abbott Labs case, off-label promotion of Depakote, what we just discussed with our SPL, our product label. And it's a $1.5 billion case. At its time in 2012, it was the second largest payment of all time made by a pharma company. Case study, Abbott Labs 2011. The title of this case from the Department of Justice was Abbott Labs to pay $1.5 billion to resolve criminal and civil investigations of off-label promotion of Depakote. In this case, I want to discuss intentional versus accidental off-label promotion. Also, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. We'll go into the settlement versus taking a risk and losing a lot more by going to court. This is a very odd case, I believe, because if you assume intentional fraud, it would be a pretty vast conspiracy throughout the company. This is not a rogue district manager or a dozen sales associates promoting off-label. It's the entire brand team and commercial operations group working together to promote off-label. That's why I think it was more ignorance versus intentional. Not that that matters, but we're going to go into some of the details. Just want to go back to the approved FDA label for Depakote from the FDA. I want to go to page 3 and focus on the first indication, which is mania right here. So, Depakote was approved for mania by the Federal Drug Administration, meaning that Abbott Labs submitted the label for these specific conditions. They went through clinical trials. They gave all their data over to the FDA, and the FDA approved this specific drug for mania. The reason I'm pointing to this indication instead of epilepsy or migraine, the other 2 indications, is because mania is the area where the Department of Justice went after Abbott Labs, and it turned into a $1.5 billion settlement. So let's look at the Office of Public Affairs headline and then subheadline. So it's a $1.5 billion fine for promoting off-label. The next line, it says the company maintained specialized sales force to market drug for off-label purposes, targeting elderly dementia patients in nursing homes. Every company has a specialized field force to market a specific brand to a specific segment. That's what you do when you do your market segmentation and you create your sales forces based upon your targeting and everything else. And in this specific case, Abbott created a sales force to go to nursing homes to speak to healthcare providers either at the nursing home or at their home office or their hospital, wherever these HCPs were located. And the sales associates promoted Depakote for manic episodes in dementia patients. So if you scroll down, you will see how the illegality happened right here. And as you see, as we scroll down, illegal promotion for agitation and aggression in dementia patients. So the FDA approved Depakote only for 3 uses it listed, but Abbott trains its sales forces to promote Depakote in nursing homes for those dementia patients who had episodes of agitation or aggression. Agitation and aggression are things that can happen when someone's having a manic episode. And any of us who have had relatives who have dementia or Alzheimer's know that when they get into this manic episode, they have uncontrollable agitation and aggression. So Abbott Labs trained its sales force to promote to these specific HCPs that are treating these specific patients. To say that they did this intentionally and intentionally violated the label was on there, you have to say to yourself, that means that the brand director and or brand vice president, all the regional directors, the district managers, all the sales associates, they all intentionally promoted this drug off-label. They all read the label. They all go through training and read the label. So they all misread the label, or they intentionally colluded to intentionally promote this product off-label. Not only that, but the targeting and alignment teams were also colluding to misrepresent this and sell off-label. Your incentives teams were putting together contests to promote this product off-label. Your information technology teams were sending out reports and metrics and dashboards to promote this off-label. This is a vast conspiracy. That's the first take when you read this, because if you're creating this isn't like 1 or 2 DMs and a couple of reps going rogue on the company. This is creating a sales force. The company created a sales force to promote this off-label, which seems very, 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 very odd. I mean, you can never hide something like this, so why would you do that? That's the pro-pharma point. The pro-government point is the following. The Depakote clinical trials had to be stopped by Abbott Labs because the product was not effective and had too many side effects. In 1999, Abbott was forced to discontinue a clinical trial of Depakote in the treatment of dementia due to an increased incidence of adverse events, including somnolence, dehydration, and anorexia. Somnolence is not being able to stay awake. Along with the illegal promotion of Depakote to control agitation and aggression in dementia patients, Abbott Labs was also accused of illegally promoting Depakote for schizophrenia. Abbott Labs pled guilty, and there was a criminal plea and a civil settlement. So obviously Abbott's lawyers decided that it was better just to plead guilty to the charges instead of taking this to court or going further. Probably did a cost-benefit analysis, but again, this seems like a very, very odd case because of the depth that the company would have had to go through in order to promote this product improperly. Thank you. This is the end of this lesson.